Hello, this is my Lab 3 submission for black hole and orbits. So this is the introduction. The purpose of this lab was to simulate gravitational interactions between a moon, spaceship, and a planet. Python was used to model the system computationally. The planet was stationed at an origin. The moon orbits the planet, and the spaceship is launched from the moon. The goal was to get the spaceship influenced by both the planet and the moon without crashing. So here's the physics principles that we used. So we used the Newton's law of universal gravitation. We used Newton's second law and the velocity and position update formulas. So these equations were applied every time step of the model to predict the motion. This is the experimental setup. So we used, of course, the gravitational constant. The mass of the planet was given to us. The mass of the moon was given to us, as well as its position. Mass of the spaceship, as well as its position, and the moon's orbital speed was calculated with this equation. This is the calculation loop. So we had to calculate exactly what forces were acting on each part of the system at one time. Here's my code. So what we'd do is we'd calculate the the force of the spaceship on each during each time step, and then kind of apply the formulas and Newton's second law on it, and then check if the spaceship has crashed during that time. So for part one, we kind of had to define what does the change of momentum mean? So it describes how the object's position or how the object's motion is not actually changing over the time. Um, we looked at the perpendicular and parallel components of the spaceship. So we saw that the net force changes the speed, and the perpendicular component changes the direction of the spaceship. Um, So in circular orbit, the net force is entirely perpendicular. Speed stays constant, and only the direction changes. So in part two, we looked at adding another body into the system. So to be clear, the system was the black hole, a star, planet, and a moon. And so like how we would have to calculate. So you'd have to calculate more bodies into it, like using the same formulas that we've had. So the results were, so the moon's followed a stable circular order, Scion orbit around the planet. While the spaceship had a like trace trajectory that was both influenced by the moon and the planet. And then no crash occurred. So we have screenshots for both. So this was part one and part two. So you can see the spaceship being the purple magenta color. So you see it was influenced by the moon and the planet. All right. Thank you so much for watching.